Hey Raiders Nation, buckle up because there's a lot to unpack with the latest roster moves and potential shakeups for Las Vegas. Looking at the 53-man roster, the first thing that jumps out is the decision to keep both Aiden O'Connell and Thomas Harper, which honestly has fans scratching their heads. O'Connell is dealing with a fractured wrist, a serious injury that typically sidelines a player for 6 to 8 weeks, and Harper picked up an injury in the very first preseason game, playing only a single snap before leaving the field. On paper, keeping two injured players on the active roster might seem like a head-scratcher, but if you dig a little deeper into the strategy, it starts to make sense. The NFL's new rules around the short-term injured reserve create a window where players must return by Week 5 or else remain on IR for the rest of the season. This means that for O'Connell and Harper, there's a real possibility the Raiders are playing the long game. By keeping them active, the team not only protects these players, but also ensures that if they are cut too early, they don't miss their shot at landing on another roster or practice squad. It's a calculated move that speaks volumes about the organization's culture and respect for its athletes, acknowledging the grind these guys have put in through training camp and preseason. Now, when you start connecting the dots across the roster, more questions arise. With Lonnie Johnson Jr. already on IR, what does this mean for someone like Chris Smith? Are they keeping him purely for depth, or could there be other strategic reasons behind it? And then there's the decision to move on from Terrell Edmunds, a player many thought would make the final roster. He had first-team reps in the preseason, stepping in for Johnson Jr., and his departure signals that the Raiders are making room for potential big moves. When you consider the possibility of trades or free agent acquisitions, it starts to look like the organization is setting up for something significant, not just maintaining the status quo. When you dig into the cornerback room, things get even more interesting. The team needs a true starting caliber corner, someone who can handle outside responsibilities while also being capable in the slot. Eric Stokes is the projected #1 corner, but there's reason for caution, especially with the way the team's nickel coverage could be stressed over a full season. Players like Stephen Gilmore and other experienced veterans are intriguing because they not only bring talent, but also leadership and stability to a secondary that will be tested week after week. It's clear that management is weighing the risks carefully, knowing that adding the right piece could make the difference between a solid defense and one that struggles to keep up with high-powered offenses. Defensive end is another area where strategic planning is key. Charles Snowden's potential suspension looms over the team, and depth at the position is critical. Tyreek Wilson has shown promise, but the Raiders need reliable options to rotate and keep the front healthy. Names like Janavion Clown, Zadarius Smith, and Shaq Barrett could become targets depending on availability and fit within the system. These decisions aren't just about talent. They're about timing, roster flexibility, and anticipating challenges that may not be visible to casual fans. The same applies to defensive tackle, where Christian Wilkins provides a stabilizing force. The Raiders have solid depth here, but the long grind of an NFL season makes it crucial to have contingency plans in place in case of injury or fatigue. What's fascinating is how all these pieces connect. The team's handling of injured players, their roster management, and potential additions via waivers or trades all point to a carefully orchestrated strategy. For example, keeping O'Connell and Harper on the roster allows the team to avoid negatively impacting younger players' opportunities elsewhere. By managing the roster this way, the Raiders maintain flexibility while showing respect for the athletes' careers. It's a delicate balance of competitive edge and organizational integrity, and it reflects the philosophy of ownership and management within the franchise. Speaking of roster flexibility, the waiver wire is about to become an essential tool. With claims due soon, the Raiders have the chance to add players who can immediately contribute or serve as developmental options. From nickel corners to versatile safeties, there are several prospects who could fit the team's immediate needs. Juju Brent, Beanie Bishop Jr., and Israel Mukumo stand out as potential acquisitions, each bringing a mix of size, athleticism, and positional versatility that aligns with the Raiders' defensive schemes. These additions wouldn't just patch holes. They could provide strategic advantages in matchups against divisional rivals and high-powered offenses across the league. Wide receiver depth is also worth monitoring. While Amari Cooper anchors the group, rumors about Jacoby Myers and other potential targets create intrigue. The team seems confident in the current core, but savvy additions could enhance flexibility, allow for creative packages, and provide security against injury. The key here is not just the star power, but the ability to adapt week by week, making roster decisions that keep the team competitive while preparing for the grind of a long season. Special teams, offensive line, and quarterback depth all play into these moves as well. While the offensive line seems relatively stable, minor adjustments could still occur to address depth concerns or take advantage of available talent. Quarterback options beyond O'Connell and Pickett are also being evaluated, with the potential for a third option providing insurance in case of injury or inconsistency. This shows a proactive approach, where the team isn't just reacting to injuries, but planning for multiple contingencies to ensure that the offense remains potent throughout the season. The intricacy of these decisions highlights how nuanced NFL roster management has become. Every cut, retention, and claim has implications not just for this season, but for how the team positions itself in the league over multiple years. The Raiders are making these moves in a way that balances respect for players, immediate competitive needs, and long-term strategic planning. It's a careful choreography that fans often don't see, but when executed well, it can be the difference between a team that just makes the playoffs and one that contends for a championship. And while fans naturally focus on marquee positions like quarterback and star receivers, the real impact often comes from those strategic depth moves, keeping a talented player active while injured, adding a versatile corner or safety, or finding an edge rusher who can rotate in without losing quality. These aren't flashy headlines, but they are the heartbeat of a well-prepared team. Las Vegas is showing signs that they're thinking several moves ahead, anticipating injuries, suspensions, and performance fluctuations, all while keeping an eye on talent that can immediately contribute or develop into a key piece for future seasons. The cornerback room is equally under scrutiny. With Eric Stokes projected as the #1 corner, there's a certain level of confidence, but the team knows a single injury or matchup challenge could expose weaknesses. A player like Stephon Gilmore, though perhaps older, brings elite experience and a calming presence in the secondary. Someone like Darren Porter has struggled in preseason, which only underscores the importance of identifying reliable options. The Raiders are in a situation where they need corners who can cover outside, inside, and slot positions without creating holes elsewhere in the defense. Names like Beanie Bishop Jr. and Juju Brent have been mentioned as potential waiver pickups, offering athleticism, size, and the ability to handle multiple roles. Players like Israel Mukumu also bring intriguing versatility, able to function as a big nickel or hybrid safety, which perfectly complements the current roster's defensive schemes. The team's approach reflects a forward-thinking mindset. They aren't just patching holes. They're constructing a framework to withstand the season's inevitable injuries and challenges. Inside the trenches, defensive tackles like Christian Wilkins remain critical. Wilkins anchors the interior, and while there is some depth behind him, no replacement can replicate his impact entirely. The Raiders' strategy seems to revolve around maintaining Wilkins' presence while exploring supplemental depth for rotation purposes. This ensures the defensive front remains effective against both the run and pass, while also mitigating the fatigue that comes over a full season. The balance of experienced starters and rotational players is essential, especially in a league where injuries are almost guaranteed and depth can determine whether a team sustains performance levels or falls apart under pressure. Wide receiver depth is another layer of the roster puzzle. While Amari Cooper is a secure presence, players like Jacoby Myers add intrigue and flexibility. The Raiders appear confident in their receiver group, but smart additions could enhance offensive packages, provide insurance against injury, and allow for matchup-specific game plans. These moves demonstrate a larger philosophy. It's not only about acquiring star talent, but also about ensuring positional depth, versatility, and adaptability, allowing the team to adjust dynamically to opponent schemes. Special teams also play a pivotal role in how the Raiders construct the roster. A player might not be a star in the traditional sense, but can have significant impact on field position, coverage units, or even unexpected scoring opportunities. By evaluating these players alongside offensive and defensive prospects, the Raiders show they're thinking holistically. It's this attention to the small but critical details that can swing close games and sustain competitive advantage throughout the season. Quarterback depth remains a subtle but important component of their overall strategy. With Aiden O'Connell recovering from injury and Kenny Pickett as the starter, there's still room for a third quarterback option, someone who can provide insurance and developmental potential without disrupting the current hierarchy. Possible names for this role are being monitored, including those with experience and versatility. The Raiders' front office seems to understand that injuries at this position can derail an entire season, so having a reliable third option is not just prudent, it's essential. The interplay between free agent acquisitions, waiver wire claims, and internal roster management is fascinating. The Raiders are not simply reacting. They're proactively shaping a roster to address weaknesses, anticipate potential injuries, and maximize the contributions of both starters and backups. Each decision carries a ripple effect. For example, retaining injured players like O'Connell and Harper ensures that younger players aren't unfairly cut and lose opportunities elsewhere. It also preserves strategic options for mid-season moves, including potential trades or free agent signings. This level of foresight is indicative of an organization thinking several steps ahead, a philosophy that could be the difference between a playoff team and a contender. Looking at potential trade targets, players like Kyle Duggar and Jamal Dean emerge as interesting options. Duggar could be acquired on a one-year prove-it deal, offering immediate impact without long-term financial commitment. Dean, while a more expensive option, provides top-tier athleticism and versatility in the secondary. These considerations reveal a balance between risk and reward. The Raiders are willing to explore short-term investments that could yield high-impact results without compromising future flexibility. The combination of positional needs, potential acquisitions, and the strategic retention of injured players paints a picture of a team that is meticulously planning for both immediate and long-term success. Every move, from targeting safeties and corners to considering edge rushers and defensive tackles, reflects a deeper philosophy. Build depth, protect key players, and maintain adaptability. This approach not only preserves competitiveness, but also establishes a culture of respect for players, showing that the organization values both talent and character in their personnel decisions. Even within the offensive line, while no blockbuster signings are anticipated, small adjustments and depth acquisitions remain on the radar. The focus isn't necessarily about adding marquee names, but ensuring the line remains durable, flexible, and capable of sustaining high-level offensive production over the entirety of the season. Similarly, wide receiver depth, quarterback insurance, and rotational defensive pieces all demonstrate a holistic approach. Every player, starter or backup, is considered in the context of the team's broader strategy. By exploring these nuances, injury management, waiver wire strategy, trade possibilities, and depth building, the Raiders are clearly positioning themselves to navigate the unpredictable nature of an NFL season. Injuries, suspensions, and performance fluctuations are inevitable, and having a proactive, adaptable approach ensures that the team can respond without losing momentum. The balance between immediate impact and long-term planning is delicate, but the Raiders appear to be approaching it with precision, leveraging both their scouting acumen and organizational culture to maintain competitiveness. At the end of the day, the Raiders' roster construction reflects a blend of strategy, respect, and foresight. Retaining injured players like O'Connell and Harper, targeting specific positional upgrades, and exploring both free agent and trade options all show a team that isn't satisfied with simply maintaining the status quo. They're building for resilience, versatility, and sustained competitiveness. And every move is a step toward achieving a roster that can handle the rigors of an NFL season while remaining capable of contending at the highest level. Even though fans naturally focus on marquee names and star positions, it's the strategic depth moves that will define the season. The decisions around safeties, corners, defensive ends, and rotational players are all designed to create a framework for success. ensuring that the team is not only prepared for the inevitable challenges, but positioned to capitalize on opportunities as they arise. Las Vegas is sending a clear message. They're thinking several moves ahead, anticipating obstacles, and building a roster that balances talent, versatility, and culture, and that kind of planning can make all the difference when the lights shine brightest. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. MEKHI BECTON's unexpected move to the Las Vegas Raiders has sent shockwaves through the NFL community, sparking endless speculation and chatter among fans, analysts, and insiders alike. The towering offensive tackle, once considered a cornerstone for the New York Jets, has seemingly reinvented the Raiders' offensive line overnight, creating an atmosphere of both excitement and curiosity around the team's upcoming season. Rumors suggest that internal negotiations, long shrouded in secrecy, played a pivotal role in this sudden acquisition, with whispers of complex contract details and performance incentives that may hint at the team's long-term vision for BECTON. Social media platforms are ablaze with reactions ranging from disbelief to jubilation, as supporters anticipate how his presence will influence quarterback protection and the overall dynamic of the Raiders' offensive strategy. Analysts are already debating the potential ripple effects on the team's offensive schemes, questioning whether BECTON's unique skill set will allow the Raiders to dominate the trenches or if adjustments will be necessary to fully integrate him. Moreover, speculation abounds regarding how this move might affect the morale and hierarchy within the locker room, as veterans and younger players alike will need to navigate the arrival of such a high-profile talent. The suddenness of the announcement has fueled the rumor mill even further, suggesting that there could be additional, yet undisclosed, motivations behind the decision, perhaps tied to the Raiders' aggressive approach to team building. Observers are particularly intrigued by how head coach Josh McDaniels will recalibrate his offensive philosophy to maximize BECTON's strengths, with insiders hinting at strategic shifts that could redefine the team's identity. Fans, meanwhile, are not just waiting but actively theorizing about the potential matchups against rival divisions, imagining scenarios where BECTON's presence could directly alter game outcomes and playoff trajectories. The narrative unfolding around this signing is more than a simple personnel move. It is shaping up to be a story of transformation, ambition, and calculated risk, emblematic of a franchise willing to shake up the status quo. The layers of speculation and the swirling discussions around every possible angle, from contract implications to tactical adjustments, underscore the magnitude of the acquisition, making it one of the most talked-about developments in recent NFL history, as each new piece of information seems to add yet another layer to an already intricate tapestry of conjecture and excitement. Speculation about MEKHI BECTON's fit with the Raiders is reaching fever pitch, as insiders hint at secretive discussions behind the scenes that may have influenced this sudden acquisition. While official statements remain measured, the undercurrent of excitement is palpable, fueled by unverified reports suggesting that BECTON's decision to join Las Vegas was influenced by promises of a pivotal role in the offensive strategy and assurances of long-term stability. Observers have noted that the Raiders' offensive line, previously considered inconsistent, could now be transformed by BECTON's sheer presence and physical dominance, allowing for a more aggressive running game and enhanced protection for the quarterback, which has long been a point of vulnerability. Rumors also circulate about the potential impact on team culture, as the arrival of a high-profile athlete often triggers subtle shifts in leadership dynamics, training intensity, and locker room interactions, all of which are being dissected and debated across podcasts, social media, and insider columns. As a result, BECTON's arrival has become a focal point for narrative building, with each rumor, comment, and speculation contributing to a broader sense of anticipation and intrigue surrounding the Raiders' trajectory in the seasons to come, ensuring that this move will remain a hot topic of conversation well beyond the initial announcement. The buzz surrounding MEKHI BECTON's arrival in Las Vegas is compounded by the sheer surprise of the move, as the football world grapples with the unexpected nature of the transaction. Industry insiders have suggested that multiple teams were vying for BECTON's services, But the Raiders' combination of aggressive strategy and financial maneuvering ultimately sealed the deal, igniting speculation about the behind-the-scenes negotiations that made this signing possible. Analysts are dissecting every angle, from the possible adjustments to the offensive line to the intricate playbook changes that could leverage BECTON's size and agility, while fans eagerly imagine scenarios where his presence could reshape game-day dynamics. Rumors also point to potential ripple effects on the locker room, as teammates acclimate to a player of BECTON's caliber and stature, potentially altering leadership structures, communication patterns, and morale. Social media is abuzz with fans theorizing about future matchups and the tactical advantage BECTON might provide against divisional opponents, with countless posts speculating on how the Raiders could exploit this newfound strength in high-stakes contests. The conversations circulating in sports circles are rich with conjecture, with each detail, whether contract nuances, anticipated performance levels, or alignment with coaching philosophy, sparking new waves of analysis and debate. The excitement is palpable, fueled by the potential for dramatic on-field consequences that could redefine not only the Raiders' approach, but also the competitive balance within the division. Every insider tip, fan theory, and media report adds layers to the ongoing speculation, making BECTON's signing a central talking point that will dominate headlines and forums alike. Observers are eager to see how the team integrates such a high-profile talent and whether this bold move signals the start of a new era for Las Vegas, promising both intrigue and drama as the season approaches and the rumors continue to multiply. MEKHI BECTON's signing has inevitably sparked discussion regarding the Raiders' tactical philosophy and how it might evolve to accommodate a player of his stature, generating endless debate and speculation among analysts and fans who are attempting to predict the team's strategic recalibration. Rumors suggest that the coaching staff may be exploring new formations and play designs, taking full advantage of BECTON's exceptional length, agility, and blocking prowess to establish a more dominant offensive front. The intrigue is amplified by speculation that the Raiders might pivot toward a more aggressive rushing scheme, allowing their quarterback additional time in the pocket and opening lanes for versatile running backs, which could dramatically alter their overall offensive efficiency. Social media conversations reveal a high level of engagement, with fans and pundits theorizing about every conceivable matchup scenario, pondering how BECTON's physical presence might neutralize opposing defensive strategies and shift the balance in critical contests. Insider whispers hint that the move could also have subtler implications, such as influencing team culture, leadership dynamics, and training regimens, as teammates adjust to the expectations and intensity brought by a high-profile acquisition. Speculation continues about how rival teams might respond, whether through strategic adjustments, defensive line acquisitions, or other roster moves aimed at countering the Raiders' newfound advantage, creating a cascading effect across the league that underscores the significance of BECTON's arrival. Analysts are debating the potential long-term ramifications, pondering whether this signing signals a commitment to building a team around dominant offensive line play, which could redefine the Raiders' identity and reshape their competitive outlook. The ongoing rumor mill suggests that additional surprises may lie ahead, with hints of complementary signings or strategic shifts designed to capitalize on BECTON's skill set, intensifying the sense of anticipation. Fans, meanwhile, are captivated by the prospect of witnessing transformative football strategies and the emergence of a more formidable Raiders offense, fueling speculation about playoff implications, divisional supremacy, and the broader narrative of the team's evolving identity. The acquisition has thus become more than a headline. It has sparked an ecosystem of conjecture, debate, and theory building that has captivated the NFL world, positioning MEKHI BECTON at the center of one of the most talked-about rumors of the offseason. The excitement surrounding MEKHI BECTON's move to the Raiders is heightened by the persistent speculation regarding the timing, motivations, and potential hidden incentives behind the signing, with insiders hinting at intricate contract structures designed to reward performance and durability while aligning with the team's strategic ambitions. Observers have been dissecting every available detail, from BECTON's previous injury history to his potential impact on the Raiders' offensive efficiency, with speculation that this acquisition represents a calculated risk with potentially transformative rewards. Rumors also abound regarding the broader organizational implications, suggesting that management is signaling a renewed commitment to competitiveness and aggressive roster building, using BECTON's arrival as a statement to both fans and rival teams. Analysts are exploring tactical hypotheses, imagining how BECTON could anchor an offensive line that enables explosive running plays, protects the quarterback more effectively, and forces opposing defenses to adjust their game plans in anticipation of his presence. Social media chatter has reached a fever pitch, with fans and commentators theorizing about every conceivable scenario, from hypothetical game-changing blocks to season-defining matchups that could hinge on BECTON's performance. Whispers from league insiders suggest that additional roster moves may soon follow, hinting at a larger strategy designed to exploit the new dynamics created by BECTON's presence, while also raising questions about the team's broader draft and trade approach. Observers are speculating on the psychological and cultural impact, including the potential reshaping of leadership hierarchies, locker room interactions, and overall team morale, as players adapt to the addition of a prominent figure whose arrival carries both expectations and influence. The anticipation extends beyond the Raiders' immediate circle, as rival franchises and commentators weigh the strategic implications and ponder whether similar bold acquisitions will become a trend, further fueling conversation and rumor. Ultimately, BECTON's unexpected move has created a narrative rich with intrigue, speculation, and excitement, blending athletic potential with organizational strategy, fan anticipation, and media buzz, ensuring that every development will be scrutinized and analyzed in exhaustive detail as the NFL world braces for a season that could be profoundly influenced by this singular, game-changing acquisition. The ongoing rumor mill surrounding MEKHI BECTON's arrival at the Las Vegas Raiders has continued to escalate, fueled by speculation about his potential influence on the team's offensive schemes, locker room dynamics, and overall competitive trajectory, with insiders hinting at strategic implications that could resonate across the entire league. Pundits and fans alike are analyzing how this unexpected move might alter playoff prospects, matchups against key rivals, and the broader perception of the Raiders as a franchise willing to make bold, high-stakes decisions to compete at the highest level. The narrative continues to unfold with every passing rumor, analyst prediction, and insider tidbit, creating a continuous stream of discussion that combines tactical analysis, organizational insight, and fan speculation into a single, electrifying conversation about what this signing truly means for the future of the team. Ultimately, BECTON's presence is being framed not just as a roster enhancement, but as a potential catalyst for transformation, shaping expectations, driving debate, and establishing a storyline that will dominate NFL discourse well into the season, ensuring that every angle, from on-field execution to cultural impact, remains a focal point for discussion, conjecture, and excitement among the football world. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.